Welcome to War Room Battleground. My name is Jayne Zirkle, and we are on the ground at the Republican National Convention 2024. I am joined by RNC spokesperson Elizabeth Pipko. Elizabeth, give us a rundown on what we've seen so far and what we can expect in the coming days at the convention.
Yeah, so what we've seen so far is Republicans coming together, right? I think what we've seen is Republicans who want a better future for this country. Actually, all people that want a better future for this country. I actually met some former Democrats that are here as well. So I think for us, it's just about telling people we want a safer, better, stronger, more prosperous America, and that's what's going to continue throughout the week. However, if you had asked me this before last Saturday, I would have probably given you quite the rundown, but now everything has changed. So I think for us, it's about kind of presenting the message in a different light and seeing how the man himself, Donald Trump, wants to address the American people after surviving an assassination attempt just the other day.
Discuss that a little bit more. Tell us what the impact of that really is on the convention and how that has changed the importance of what we're doing here this week.
Yeah, look, I have said for years America needs to be united again, right? I've said people need to come together and put this country and its people first. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes something really, really sad to bring out the best in people. And I hope that's what we saw on Saturday. And I hope that losing the life of an American, by the way, an American hero, losing the life of someone at a political rally, something that should never happen in this country, ends up being the wake-up call that we all need. I think we're mourning here together as a group, even if he's not always mentioned. We're mourning that life together as we always do, and we're thinking of him as we fight for this country moving forward.
Unity, bringing more people into the party. Talk about particularly the Jewish vote. I know that you are a vocal Jewish activist. You have done many different initiatives to bring Jews to the Republican Party. What's the status with that? Are Jews waking up in support of Donald Trump?
Definitely. I think all people are waking up in support of Donald Trump, right? We're talking about minority groups that the Democrat Party has relied on for many years. They've taken their vote and their support for granted for many years, and we're finally seeing that kind of come to an end. We're talking Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, women, Jewish Americans. This is happening all over, and it's happening because Joe Biden's policies have been that bad for everyone, and people are finally thinking to themselves, wait, maybe I've been lied to by the media. Maybe Donald Trump is not so bad. Maybe I was actually doing a little bit better when he was in office, and maybe I should give him another chance, give myself an open mind, and give this country a better future, because it's not the R or the D that you vote for, it's the person that you vote for and the policies he represents and all that he can bring for this nation.
October 7th, there are still hostages in Gaza to this very day. How has that impacted this upcoming election?
So it's interesting because I view October 7th both as an American but also as a Jew. A lot of people don't view it that way. They should view it as just Americans and realize that 5 Americans are still held hostage right now. That's over 9 months they've been held by a terrorist group, being held while this administration virtually stays silent. I cannot help but say I don't think any of this would have happened if Donald Trump was in the White House. I don't think October 8th would have looked the same way if Donald Trump was in the White House. I think the response would have been very, very different, and I would hope that the Americans would be home and that Hamas would be very much eliminated. So I think for us it's about realizing that this is a threat that we share with Israel, right? It's an enemy that we share. We all share values with Israel, and we also share enemies with Israel. And if we don't help them and stand with them, it's going to be a very different future for America as well. And I hope October 7th was a wake-up call for everybody who realizes that after everything we've seen, you should know that the policies that you're voting for actually can keep you and your family very safe.
So part of your job as RNC spokeswoman is you're dealing with a lot of left-wing media. Do you think that the left-wing media is partially to blame for the political climate that we're currently in and the hostile nature towards President Trump?
It's an interesting question because I don't want to directly blame anyone for, the death that we saw and an almost assassination of a former president, but I do think everyone should take some accountability. We are all extremely divided in this country. No one can deny that. We are a fractured nation right now, and I think when you talk about a presidential candidate, the way people have spoken about Donald Trump, you have to take some accountability. I've never seen a politicians' staff or supporters be targeted the way that Donald Trump's have as well. And I think everyone should take accountability and realize that what happened should never, ever happen again in our country or anywhere else that we care about. And we should take it upon ourselves to make sure that that never happens again.
Well, I do have to disclose here my journalistic bias. Elizabeth is my best friend. So, Elizabeth, this was such an honor and so fun to interview you today. And thank you so much for your time.
Tell me your name again.
AJ Yvette.
AJ Yvette, we're out here. So I saw you at Waco, Texas. Come up here. I love this. Make sure you see the shirt. Black Lives MAGA, and we've got the Trump face pants. We got the gold sneakers. We got the MAGA. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So you're out here at the RNC convention.
I am.
With a bunch of white supremacists. That's what the left says, CNN, MSNBC, who are also here, by the way.
Well, they say that some people call me the black face of it, so.
That sounds awfully racist to me, that they would say that. Is it just me, or are they the racists?
Yeah, absolutely. 100% they are.
How do they get away with it?
Well, they've got a machine behind them, for one. You've got the liberal media, and you've just got the powers that be that back them up and don't hold them accountable for their actions and just allow them to just push their narratives, their agendas, whatever it is. Anything to make conservative Republicans look bad. That's their goal.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's not working anymore, is it?
And they just use labels. You know, they just want to label and name call.
Yeah.
But
It doesn't work anymore.
no, it doesn't.
So, President Trump's alive. The same people that call you blackface white supremacist are sad today because the shooter missed. What is your message to President Trump and to America?
Well, they preach this whole thing about hate, but you're operating in hate. Wishing death on someone, is that not the epitome of hate? I mean, come on now. Like if people would just understand the words that are coming out of their mouth and really check themselves. I mean, it's just so hypocritical. Like it's just so crazy about it. It's crazy. Yeah.
What do you want to say to President Trump?
President Trump, I love you. I want to meet you. I want to shake your hand. And to all the haters and critics out there, okay, y'all see the Black Lives MAGA shirt on. Actually, my picture was sent to President Trump, and he put it on his Truth Social, and a lot of critics said that I was AI. As you can see, I'm not AI, and I have all my fingers.
She's real. I can't read through her. She's real.
You said I was AI, and you also said that I'm a paid actor by President Trump. Let me tell you something. I'm here on my own dime, and I love Trump. Look, I wish I was paid, you know what I'm saying? But I'm also here on my own dime, and I'm also here, the people that supported me to come here as well, too, to be a delegate. They supported me to get here. So I'm on my dime, and I'm on the supporters from this great state of Texas. I'm on their dime that supported me. I am not paid by Trump or his campaign or his team, whatever it is, and I'm not AI. I'm a real human being.
Now, when he wins in November, would you work for President Trump?
Yes, please, Trump. I want to work for you. There has to be a spot and a place for me, for moi.
I love it. God bless you. All right. Keep rocking, guys, out here at RNC Convention, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Black Lives MAGA, right here. Look, not AI. Not AI. I love it.
Fingers.
I love it. God bless you.
God bless you.
All right, much more to come, guys. Stay tuned.
I am joined with Libby Emmons of the Post Millennial. Libby, give us a rundown of your convention experience thus far.
I've been finding it to be really interesting. There's a lot of delegates running around, practicing democracy. We had Trump making his first appearance last night since we'd seen him get almost assassinated. Everyone was very excited about that. Standing ovation, lots of cheering. There definitely seems to be a lot of hope and optimism about this new ticket with J.D. Vance. People seem really excited.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit more, the sort of long history of political violence from the left wing. What have we seen since really the get-go of President Trump on the political scene?
Well, of course, as you and I were talking about just before this, we saw Trump depicted as Julius Caesar in a show, Shakespeare in the Park, years ago. There was Kathy Griffin with the head of Donald Trump. And of course, all of this is speech, and it's pretty well protected. You know, people can do what they want with their speech, but there's also been a lot of actual violence. And what's been interesting, too, when you see it in 2020 with the so-called Summer of Love that happened, and the violence there, or even violence after that with Antifa protesters, all of this stuff. What we find is that the left does not actually think that what they're doing, these leftists, they don't think that what they're doing is violence. They think that what they're doing is an appropriate reaction. And the reason they think that is because they've spent a great deal of time framing speech as violence. So they say, oh, well, when you say something, like there's going to be a bloodbath in the auto industry, a bloodbath of economic proportions in the auto industry, they figure, oh, that's actual violence, and they get to react to that. So they don't even think that violence is violence because they think that speech is violence.
What is the accountability that particularly the mainstream media has here for what went on Saturday?
Well, the mainstream media, as we all know, completely broke when Trump was elected in 2016. They completely lost their minds. They spent 4 years complaining about Trump not willing to call balls and strikes, which I think would be a very important and reasonable thing to do. They never checked into policies. They just always assumed that Trump and the Republicans were behaving in the way that the mainstream media thought they were behaving, as opposed to actually paying attention to how they were behaving. And that's been damaging even up to now. So what we see in the mainstream media, the legacy media, as I prefer to call it, is an attempt to take every fact and reframe it to fit the narrative that they have instead of simply reporting. And that's why we saw over the weekend, after the assassination attempt, I heard this from a lot of people would turn to the news, they'd turn to legacy media looking for information, and instead they found obfuscation, they found, political bias, they found assumptions like that the gunshots were really just breaking glass, or that Trump had fallen, which was, quite a headline that we saw. And so you saw a lot of people really turning and going to independent conservative media outlets, going to X, the way that people used to go to X, looking for the news, looking to understand what had actually happened. And I think that that was really quite a turning point, because then you've seen legacy media over the past few days continuously trying to reframe what happened on Saturday to fit what they think happened. And so that's pretty wild to watch that go down. And of course, we don't even really know what happened. We know that there were some failures of law enforcement for sure, but we don't know motivations. We don't know much about this guy. We don't even really know much about his family or anything. There's just these little bits coming in and out to try and explain things, and we have no explanations. But legacy media is still trying to make it fit their narrative.
Bringing more people into the Republican Party is a talent of President Trump's. Talk about that. What have you seen from the left? Has there been a lot of turnover in favor of President Trump?
I haven't seen a ton of that here, because these are a lot of conservatives. They've been conservatives for a long time. Once you're talking about someone who's a delegate, they've been politically engaged for a pretty long time. But I have heard from people, across the board who've said that they have reconsidered their vote, or people who think, that perhaps Biden is not going to be the guy. Talked to members of my family who said that they did not realize Biden was that far gone into old age, which we all saw at the debate. And so I think that also has been a really powerful indicator of how people are going to vote. And in some cases, maybe choose not to vote for Biden or Trump because they perhaps can't marry themselves to, voting for the former president, but they certainly can't marry themselves to voting for the current president.
You talk a lot about cultural issues in your writing. Talk about President Trump's policy platform and how that relates to the culture in the United States.
Well, he's really big on classical architecture. That's something that I distinctly disagreed with in his last term. I love classical architecture, but I don't know that we necessarily have the talent and ability to build in those ways at this point. I'm a fan of modern architecture. I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot more we can do with that. So, I think let the artists be artists in a lot of ways. But also, there's a lot to be said about how he opens the platform generally in culture for people to speak their minds a little more. There was so much, not just censorship, although that's there, but suppression and a lot of self-censorship that's gone on among artists and culture makers who were on the left because they felt that they couldn't say certain things. Certainly you couldn't say openly that you supported Trump. We see that in Hollywood.
And now we had Amber Rose last night.
We have Amber Rose last night. There's a lot of people who just don't say what they really think. And I think that's something that's changing, even to the point where Mike Cernovich said on X today, being able to support Trump and be legitimately in society is something you're now able to do again.
Well, thank you so much, Libby. Enjoy the rest of the convention, and thanks so much for talking to me today.
Thanks so much, Jayne.
All right, so tell me your first and last name again.
Pastor Abolaji Ayobami,
And you're originally from Nigeria.
originally from Nigeria.
So I didn't tell you this when we first started talking. My sister was born in Jos.
Are you serious?
Yeah, my parents were
Jos
missionaries.
Plateau.
Yeah,
Oh, wonderful.
My parents were missionaries for 10 years, and
Are you serious?
yeah, now
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Go, Jos Plateau. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful place.
Yeah.
In the middle belt of Nigeria.
Yep.
Oh, wow, that's a great thing.
So we're back
you
here.
have a blood relations.
There you go.
Your sister is a Nigerian there.
yeah. So we're back here now. You're back here. You came from Nigeria, but you have an incredible story.
Yes.
Most of my focus, Real America's Voice News, I do a show called Law and Border. All of the illegal immigration that's coming across. You're a legal immigrant from Nigeria, but tell us your story about an illegal alien that almost took your life.
Thank you very much. You know, just like the name of your network, Turning Point. November 5th of 2022 was a turning point in my life because some of these illegal immigrants that are coming from the southern border caused a very terrific accident in the state of Texas, in the city of Sugarland on the Highway 59. And this fellow, what I was told was that he left the scene, is a runaway, because he hit somebody who hit me and turned me back, and the other one coming behind me hit me hard, and immediately I have a complete heart block. Which means I was taken out of that place in a air ambulance to go to the trauma center in downtown Houston. It's a day I will never forget because for 3 days I was in a coma. I did not know anything until after the third day. I came back alive to the will of God, who knows that my assignment is not done, and He wants me to come back to see what is happening today and be part and parcel of what He wants us to do in America, to make America great again, and to take this country to the place where the founding fathers determined and dreamed it to be.
Amen.
And that is why I am here today, to the glory of God. It's not something that I can explain because it's a compelling story.
Yeah.
And I've not started telling the testimony of what God did for me, because the God that protected me on that day is this same God that is over America, that protected President Donald Trump on Saturday from a major disaster. Amen. That would have caused a national money or national disaster in this country. And that's why I want to know that it's not only the illegal immigrants that were killing and raping women and do everything. There are some atrocities that they committed. Just like President Trump says is a Biden migrant crisis. Several accidents, auto accidents that have happened, caused by these illegal immigrants. They don't know how to drive, they don't have driving license, and once they cause accident, they disappear into thin air. They take the vehicle. Up to now, my case is a cold case. They could not find the person, and there is no way for them to even make any adjustment or to do anything for me.
So the person that hit you, that almost killed you or caused the other person to hit you, they ran from the scene and they've never been caught?
Up to now.
Wow.
20 months applause. I was still waiting to see whether the police or the law enforcement will come across it. But what I heard what they do is that when they do something like that, they take the vehicle and pieces it, turn it to parts. You don't see, so they cannot locate where it is, and then the vehicle done into thin air. But the thing is that the life of the innocent citizens that have been claimed, several of them, I happen to be one that God helped to survive the scene, horrific scene. 5 major operations, 3 minor operations, and it's a terrific thing that cost me almost $394,000 in bills, medical bills, and there is no way for that thing to just go like that. So I am here today, and I thank God for everything, that there is going to be a president in the White House that will deal with this migrant crisis situation, and then the nation, America, will go back to where it used to be, that we will be able to have safety, wealth, progress, and we make America great again.
I love that. I love that. You mentioned that that's one of the things that's not talked nearly enough about is vehicular manslaughter, illegal aliens committing vehicular manslaughter. There are tons of lives that are taken. And, you know, this was information from back when President Trump was in office. We were having about 5,000 American citizens killed every year by illegal aliens. And now you've got even more than that, because we have potentially 15 million or more in new illegal aliens that Joe Biden's invited in.
That's right.
It's an absolute disaster for our country. But God bless you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for standing up for President Trump.
Thank you for what you are doing. Make America great again. Turning Point. What Turning Point? This is one of the greatest network that I always tell people to. You and Charlie and everybody, you're doing a great job. But like I said, let the whole nation focus on what is going on in our border so that we have a secure border. Then let the citizen knows that they are cared for.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I went through, I happen to be a politician by choice. I'm a pastor of the church. I'm a public servant. Then I'm a professional engineer, but I happen to be a politician because God said, go in there and put the righteous people in place.
Amen.
So that they can do the right thing for the citizen, and the dream of the founding fathers should be accomplished.
And you're a commissioner, or what are you in Texas?
I ran for offices twice. First of all, I ran for office as a state House of Representative, District 85. And the second time I ran for the Texas State Board of Education, District 7. So, but because the mid-term election that happened in 2022, that was when the accident happened. I did not live to see that election.
Wow. Are you running again?
Thank God. Well, I will run because I'm just getting back to normal. My body's gone. But I'm going to run back. Or first of all, let's put Donald Trump in the White House.
That's the key.
And every other thing will work together.
That's the key.
Thank God for saving his life.
Amen.
And thank God for saving our life. Amen. We are here for a reason.
Amen.
And we're going to tell the story.
Amen.
God bless you.
God bless you.
God be with you.
More to come out here, guys. Turning Point USA 2024 at the not Turning Point, well, Turning Point Real America's Voice News RNC 2024.
Yes.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
God bless you, Brent.
Stay tuned.
God bless America.
Amen.
MAGA.
MAGA, baby.
I am joined by Dan Flewitt, the producer of Government Gangsters. Dan, tell me about the film.
Thank you, Jayne. First of all, I'm really happy to be here with you on this side of the camera for the first time. So there's a long story here with this film. I've been working with Steve for about 20 years, a little bit over 20 years, and we've done dozens of documentaries. And he sends me probably 5 projects a day. Like, what do you think about this, Dan? And then one day he sent me Government Gangsters, and I thought that was a perfect film to do. If ever anybody's familiar with our previous work, like Clinton Cash, this essentially picks up where Clinton Cash left off. And Clinton Cash was primarily about, using power and influence to basically fund the Clintons and their foundations to the tune of millions of dollars. This took on a little more of a darker, sinister tone with the way that these government gangsters in the deep state, the way they operate to actually try to take down a then candidate and into a sitting president, and even up to today with him being on his campaign. They're trying to in many ways just take him out of the whole process. And so we do a deep dive on a very complicated subject, and we look at the players that were involved in doing these really nefarious things, and expose them all and tell a very actually complicated story in a very tight narrative that's really easy to follow, but it really will blow your head up. I think it's one of our best pieces we've ever done, and we're really proud of it. And I think that the audience will really like it. And I really encourage, if anybody's here at the RNC, we're having a premiere on Thursday at 3:00 at the Miller High Life Theater, but then it goes up for sale on the War Room site. It's warroom.film, and I think the audience will really like it, particularly if they like Clinton Cash and any of the other films that we've done. It's a really amazing project.
How long did it take for you guys to put this all together?
Like usual, it was like drinking through a fire hose. It was, I think we started in May. So it was about 2.5 months. It was super.
Well, that's how it is in the war room.
Yeah, but look, we're built for speed. We're really streamlined. We know how to operate. There's something about being a small crew that's worked together for such a long time. We really have a shorthand with the way that we operate and the way that we work together. And so it was quick, but it's good and it's very powerful.
Well, thank you so much, Dan. I'm so excited to see the new film.
Right on. Thanks, Jayne.
We're here in Milwaukee. My first time at the RNC convention. I want to show, if we can pan the camera down. We're out in front of the Pfizer arena, just to make sure that's not Pfizer. This segment's not brought to you by Pfizer. It's Pfizer. Down the way, you can see the Panther Arena where you guys are at. We've got another arena behind that. This entire part of downtown has been taken over for the RNC convention, and it really, the energy here, Congressman, is really about President Trump and MAGA. You can see the big Trump 2024 here. This is my first time here. Yeah, I know you just said this is your first time here. How important is or are the events that are going to happen this week?
Well, I think all of us, those who are listening, those are participating, these are very, very special times. And we're going to look back on time and realize that we were here when our country was about to go over the edge. And now we have a place where we're really hopeful. We see a president who really highlights who America is. His defiance, his courage, his boldness, his love for our country. And we're here celebrating that this week. And a lot of people, because of what's happened on Saturday, we're tuning in probably sometimes for the first time. So it's going to be an exciting time for our country because America's been waiting for this. We have this desire to become a more perfect union. That's who we are. In the last few years, we've been losing that, and we're just tired of it. We're tired of the negative. We're tired of the fighting, and this is our time to coalesce behind President Trump, who's going to put America first, put the policies in place. The next 2 to 5 years will be some exciting times for us. I look forward to it.
I want to come back to that in a second, but you're talking about that negativity. You look at that, the assassination attempt against President Trump, and then we just played a cold open when we came into the show with people like Joy Reid, who were out there basically calling that, setting this up, calling President Trump a dictator, calling him Hitler, all these things for the last 8 years. How much do you think that played into the violence that we've seen? We saw that under President Trump. We saw the country burning down with Antifa and BLM. And how much does the media play into that? And how important is it that they're held accountable for their words?
Well, there's no question. When people are tuning in to only hate, they have a tendency of just thinking that's going to be okay to hate, to stop what they think is the worst thing that could ever happen. I think what's happening, though, is the media is losing their brand. The last 4 years, they're realizing American people, I'll say this on both sides of the aisle, good people do not like to be lied to. And what's happening right now, they're waking up and finding out, wait a minute, this guy is who has been representing us all this time and we didn't know about it. So what's happening with this is the American people are beginning to hold everyone accountable who's lied to them. We're going to go and do something very special this next 4 years. We're going to win the House, the Senate, President Trump. We're going to finally put policies in place that people can feel the difference. And that's what's nice about where we are now. They know what it is to go through misery, through pain, to hopelessness, because that's what the Democratic Party has been doing to them. With President Trump and a group that really is looking at him as a leader and its guidance as a leader, we're going to be able to give the American an idea of what it truly feels like to be hopeful again. So I'll add on, to be great again, to be hopeful again. And that's where we are heading off to. And it's just going to be an exciting time for our country altogether. A lot of good people that are Democrats will be leaving like I did 40 years ago, and it'll never go back because our brand is forever broken because of what's happened the last 4 years.
And you're seeing that. I do most of my coverage on the southern border, down into Mexico, Central America, what Joe Biden and the Democrats have done on that southern border. You're from Utah. We're seeing that shift across America, and particularly in the Black and Hispanic communities. Are you seeing that everywhere as well? And following up to that, are you seeing a shift in Congress? I know you just mentioned that a little bit, how we've getting rid of some of the bad and we're getting some of the MAGA in there. Talk to us about that. And why you're seeing
I would
that.
say, first of all, I came in the 117th Congress. The 117th, the 118th, the ones coming on, we are truly America First legislators. And that's because of the shade of what Trump showed us. What showed us is that we need to go move on. And so I'm excited about that. And American people, Black Americans want everything like everybody else. Hispanic, Jewish, everybody wants freedom. We want to have a positive view of our future. And that's what President Trump is offering us. So yes, we're going to be coming back to this together, be more united than we have in a while. And I think it's going to be really good for our party to have this remarkable resurgence of good old-fashioned American way, for sure.
I love it. Congressman Burgess Owens from the great state of Utah. Natalie, Brian, amazing event already out here. I'm going to be out here on the street talking to the people. Stay tuned for much more of that to the War Room Posse. Until then, thank you, Congressman. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. All the best, for sure.